Welcome to this special edition episode of the podcast to celebrate the launch of my book, You've Got This. If you haven't got it yet, you know what you need to do. But today we're going to talk about Kasia Bromley, who is one of the people who has kindly provided some wisdom and insight for the book, and she is the founder of ACAI Outdoorwear. Kasia studied at Edinburgh College of Art and worked for Alexander McQueen before really seeing a gap in the market for women's outdoorwear. She launched ACAI with her husband Joe in 2016, but it has not been an easy journey to get to where they are now. However, Kasia was very much fueled by her passion for getting women into the outside due to the positive impact it had on her own life. Now, ACAI is a really well-known brand who are sustainable, performance-led and create incredible outdoor wear for ladies, as well as supporting lots of initiatives to get people outside. I hope you love the episode. So, if I could just start with asking you about you and how you and why you started your business, that would be brilliant. And I can then ask you some other questions that go along with the themes of the book, if that's okay.
Of course. So originally, just to give you a bit of background, I'm from Poland, hence the name. That's actually a short version of my name. You probably don't want to see the full name of full version of my name because it's a bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, I originally came from Poland and moved to the UK a long time ago. Went to study women's wear at Edinburgh College of Art. So that's the background. I'm a designer, and I started ACAI soon after I graduated. Obviously, very passionate about design and women's wear in particular. But my career actually started. I had a stint at Alexander McQueen in women's wear.
Wow.
It was an amazing experience. It was in haute couture, so it was very different, but really great experience. Worked alongside Sarah Burton, and then I actually designed menswear, and that's where kind of a lot of ideas for the brand happened. I worked for a cycling brand, so it was very technical, very male centric. And living in Scotland, I spent a lot of time in the Highlands, and the gear was always the problem because as a women's wear student and graduate, I wasn't keen on wearing what was available, and also the culture of the outdoors and the place for women in the outdoors back then was a sticking point for me. I was always surrounded. I was very often the only woman. And what I wore when I didn't stick to the traditional baggy, technical, super technical, very masculine looking clothes, it would be pointed out that laughed at, and I didn't feel like I was being taken seriously. And I think for women at that time, unless you were super hardcore climber, hiker, knew what you were doing, you doing your orienteering course and being able to navigate through the mountain, you weren't taken seriously. And so that's really the background, where I thought that I'm in a position where I have so much knowledge and understanding of women's clothes from, I know how to dress women, that's my thing. But also understanding the technical side of things. My dissertation was on technical textiles. So I was always very passionate, very interested in how fabrics perform and what we can achieve in the garment using different types of fabrics. And I learned also a lot at Endura because it was all about technical fabrics. So it was really combining the couture to country. It's like combining my women's wear background, my understanding, my knowledge of garment construction and designing for women, and understanding the lifestyle and the needs from what you need from the garment. And that's really how ACAI started, very much from the product design side of things.
So did you have a big kind of vision? Did you think that actually this is what I'm going to create and this is why, which then led you to kind of develop a plan about how you're going to get there?
Yes, I've always been very ambitious. So I've always had big dreams and big vision for the brand. I for some reason, I always, in the back of my head, I always knew, well, I'm going to have my own brand one day as a, design student, when you like, dreamy and, you think you're going to make it big. That's, for some reason, I've always, that was always kind of what I thought I'm going to do. And the vision was really, when I started, obviously, to create garments that make a real difference in women's lives, make you, the wearer, make you feel really confident in what you're wearing. So it's not just about how the garment looks, but how it makes you feel. And also paving the way for women in the outdoors, beyond the garment, beyond the product, which is obviously my main area, but it's about the culture and the lifestyle, and paving the way for women in the outdoors, and making outdoors more accessible, or feel more accessible, not making them more accessible, because obviously I'm not single-handedly able to do that, but outdoors is all around us. It's not just about climbing, the top of the mountain peaks and doing hardcore climbs, because that overwhelms a lot of women. It's not for some, it's not for everyone, but I know how important and how beneficial being outdoors is. And you don't have to be up at the top of the mountain. You can do, local forest walks. There's outdoors is closer than what we think. And I think a lot of us have realized what we've got on our doorstep during lockdown. I don't know whether you've noticed that. You discover, the past that I'd never discovered. So that was the silver lining of that time. But that's really beyond product. That's the dream. That's the vision.
That's important for big visions. If you're, again, thinking about people who are reading this book that are small business owners, entrepreneurs looking to make a difference, the vision is usually connected to something bigger than just a product or just a service, isn't it? It's an overall thing you want to change or make an impact towards.
Exactly. And that's about putting women first in the outdoors. Our brand is all about women. We make a point of not introducing menswear. ACAI is women's wear brand. And the activities, the initiatives that we do supporting women walking groups, such as Adventure Queens and young mums in the outdoors blaze trails, and a charity called Women in Sport we've worked with and supported. So exactly that's what we're working towards, putting women first in the outdoors.
And do you feel that referring to this vision, even now as you kind of have progressed with the business and grown the business, is useful? It kind of keeps you on track. It allows you to assess opportunities and go, yeah, that actually does align with us. Because it would be really easy to start a menswear side. You've got an amazing following, great products. So it'd be quite easy to do that. But that's not what your overall vision is that started the company, is it?
It's very easy to get distracted. It's very easy to get, I cannot tell you how many people come up to us, oh, do you want to do ski wear? Do you want to do golf? Do you want to do cycling? Well, have you ever thought of children's wear? And it's so easy to like, oh yeah, well, we could do everything, but the more you do, the less focus you have on that thing. So it's always, we actually as a team have to remind ourselves, we don't have to remind ourselves, because obviously we're very passionate about it, but we have to remind ourselves to stay focused. Stay focused on that purpose. We've got big frame pictures in our offices of our vision about putting women first in the outdoors and revolutionizing the apparel for women and making women feel confident in the outdoors.
I love that. So how did you go from that vision into the business? What did you kind of then go down to a goal setting level? Then how did you break that up? How did you do that?
What do you mean? Like, how did I go about setting the vision or achieving the vision?
Yeah, achieving the vision, really, because you've obviously set the vision and then you have to put that stuff into place, don't you? You have to take those steps to make that a reality. From your initial vision, you went down the product line. how did you start to do that? Because it's a big process, isn't it, getting a
It
product
is,
to
and
market?
oh gosh, it's a good question. It's because I don't think, even when I said it out loud, achieving, I never feel like we have achieved it because it's such a long process. There is always more that you can do. I don't think you ever get to the top as like, right, I'm done. I think it's a evolving process, and yes, you're right. You started from product because I've got product background. I had a passion of doing just what I've explained, but I had no brand background, and I didn't really know how to do it. But my thinking was, well, if I can create something for you to wear that gives you that confidence, makes you feel like you are fully equipped to go out there, and it makes you feel feminine, stylish, and comfortable at the same time, then that's partly you're kind of, partly there. And then the other bits are getting involved in one big initiative that we started in 2021 was the Outdoorsing Club, and that was a big thing for us, putting the message out there about outdoors is all around us. Whether you're climbing a mountain or walking in the park, you're still getting outdoors and you're still gaining the benefits of being outdoors, being active, and the mental well-being side of things. So we did that initiative in 2021, and then we continued in 2022. We launched the Outdoorsing Club, where we organized and fully funded free walks in and around the UK. So we've done quite a few of them. We launched them initially for International Women's Day, then to celebrate Mental Health Awareness Week in October, and we just had the last round this September just gone, and it's basically our brand ambassadors who are also trained mountain leaders, or some of them are teachers that organize groups, so they have got experience in doing that. They would take a group of women out walking, so opportunity to meet like-minded women, to get out there in safe space.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry about where to go or getting lost, or or being on your own. So that was a big proud moment, I would say, that the being able to bring that to life, and being able to fund it as a brand, and say we've done it, and here it is, an opportunity for you to come in for free. And I was amazed. I personally attended quite a few of them, and I was amazed how many women traveled like up to 4 hours for a day's trip, just to be able to attend. It's amazing. So this is something that we're continuing as a brand, that I'm really passionate about continuing and growing. And as the brand grows, we'll hopefully be able to organize more initiatives like that. So I would say that's a real big step towards achieving our vision.
No, definitely. Thinking about the product side, I mean, that I imagine you get loads and loads of ideas about what you can do in terms of the kit you make that people wear. How do you decide what to go for first, what order to do things, and then how do you map out those steps to take to get you to where you want to be?
Oh, I love that question. We're legwear first brand. So I would say up until now, we've been really laser focused on developing our legwear, and that our vision from product perspective was to be able to offer the most comprehensive legwear range. And what I mean by that is to be inclusive, in terms of both in terms of sizing, but also in terms of silhouettes, shapes. We all have different styles. We all have different styles that fit us better, make us feel better. So we started off with the skinny outdoor trousers, which are a huge success. So then we brought out a range of legwear for different seasons. So that was our first step. Then we introduced tall, petite, sort of, you know, I think up to 24 sizes in our core range. Now we're developing and bringing out more styles in terms of looser fit, different body shapes, kind of like the Levi's of the outdoors. So that was our primary focus. We all often said we like Shoe Dog, like I don't know if you've read that book.
I've got it to read.
Yeah. He only focused on shoes for, you know, quite a number of years when he first started the brand. It's kind of like that. Now we have started expanding into mid layers. A lot of our customers ask, what do I wear with my ACAIs? And it naturally became outfit building process. So bringing out fleeces, layers, and tops, and next skin, so base layers. So creating, like I said, full outfit along with accessories. Now you can wear ACAI head to toe. And our next big thing is outerwear, jackets. This is the for various reasons, we waited before we dived into outerwear. Obviously, it's a very saturated area with lots and lots of choice, but it's also the biggest part of the market, the outdoor apparel market. And I am personally I'm a perfectionist when it comes to product. We went for quality over quantity, so we don't have huge amounts of SKUs. It also goes in line with our evergreen sustainability message, where we don't just bring out loads and loads of different products and then a lot of it goes to waste, because inevitably not everything sells. It doesn't work like that. So we're very kind of cautious and thought. There's a lot of thought process into each and every product. So we're now, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes to bring out outerwear. So that will kind of come into play slowly in 2024, more for winter 2024. And then in 2025, that will be the bigger focus, whilst keep evolving our legwear range, because that's what we're known for. That's how we gained traction and became known for our legwear.
No, that makes perfect sense.
If that answered your question.
I think so. No, I think it has. It's good to see that you're kind of you take each product individually, have that as your focus. You obviously break down the steps to achieve that, then you move on to the next one. So you've got quite a process to achieve those goals, I guess, as you go. Yeah,
it was very much product ranges. So I want to be able to offer a good legwear choice, and then you want to be able to offer a good top fleeces and mid layers choice, rather than having a bit of this and a bit of that. So that's the approach that we take.
That makes sense. So along your journey to date, I think everyone I've spoken to ever who's got a small business has had kind of blocks and goals to overcome on the way to achieve their goal. So whether that's things like imposter syndrome or difficulties with your own mindset, or other things of lack of confidence, or times when you just were really frustrated. Have you had any blocks like that you would like to share about, and how you overcame them?
Lots of challenges along the way. Where to start? So I would say it's none of what you mentioned, but I would say the financial challenges, and actually just figuring it out. How do we place orders for, before we know how many we sell. And that was a real difficulty in the early days, when really neither myself or my husband had any experience in that. I knew how to design product and how to bring it to life, but we haven't had any kind of entrepreneurial training, and it was all learning as you go, and learning by making mistakes, learning from other people as well. One of the biggest challenges was in 2017, where we actually started the business doing wholesale, and we got to a point, it was after first year of the business, and a lot of people say that most businesses fail after the first year, and that was a real kind of crossroads point where we could have gone either way. Luckily we went the right way, but we had quite a few products. So we started off with 15 products, and only one of them really took off, which was the trousers. And we were basically at that point, we run out of money. We put all of our savings into the business. We had to sell. I remember selling our car, our sofa, moving out of our rented house to be able to pay for the next lot, for the delivery, for the next lot of that was the trousers, and that was a punt, because we saw that there was a lot of interest in that. We saw that it's something different, that people see that here is a new brand in the outdoors that doesn't exist, and women were interested in it. But in the end of the day, we didn't know whether it's going to succeed, and we were basically at zero, to the point that for a couple of months, I was staying in Poland with my family, and my husband had to pick up a temporary job to actually just keep us going, and stayed with his family. So we were actually homeless, and we had a little boy that our little boy was about 1 or 2 at that point. And yeah, that was quite an unnerving moment, I would say. Whenever we're asked about our biggest challenges, that's the first one that comes to mind, because that was the first moment when we came into it like, right, we're going to do it, full of energy, full of positive, kind of like, we don't know what we're doing, but we'll do it. And at that point, it was almost like a reality check. Are we going to do it? Is this going to work?
Did you have like a fear of failure, a fear of if it didn't work?
No.
That's really interesting. A few people I've spoken to, they've described these situations, like similar situations, and I've gone, well, were you worried it wasn't going to work? No, I knew it would.
Yeah.
And but I think that self-belief is really important as a founder, because you do have to risk a lot, whether it's your time, your energy, your money, so much.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs, or a lot of successful entrepreneurs that I personally look up to, they use their gut feel, and I actually, now I'm looking back, I'm even quite surprised just how much gut feel and instinct comes into success of the business, rather than playing it by the book, if you like.
How do you tune into that? Because that self-belief is so important, and a lot of people really lack it. How do you sort of tune into that and trust yourself and your decisions?
I think you just know if it feels right. Like if you're buying a new house, you go and view a house, and you kind of know it in your gut. Is this a house for me? Do I feel it? Like, I don't know. It's like a sixth sense, which is, I think it's difficult to describe, but I think we all have that. And maybe some people have it stronger or more developed than others. I'm not sure whether that, but I think you just know in yourself. We've always said failure is not an option, and my husband uses gut feel in quite a lot of, it always has, in quite a lot of his decisions. And I'm more of a, I don't call it gut feel personally. I'm more of like, I have this instinct or this feeling. And it's always, and I think there's always something. So if you look at a bigger picture and it looks hopeless, like, we have no money. We don't know if this is going to work. We literally spent all of our last pennies onto this. And if it's not going to work, we're in trouble. But there is always, if I remember, like when I actually look back and think about what was happening at the time, there's always something positive to hold on to. And I think that's the key, that this small thing, look for the little positives to hold on to excite you. And I think for me, there was always something that excited me about this, no matter how stressful, how hopeless sometimes it may have looked from the outside, and someone be like, oh my god, I would have gone and got a job at that point. Whereas there was always something, it's like, I think that's going to work. But or like that thought, there's that one more thing that we can try, and if that doesn't work, but there's always that one more thing, there's always something that you can try and hold on to in terms of positive. So like looking for the positive, and even if they're smaller than the bigger negatives, in sometimes. Does that make sense? So but yeah, self-belief is super important. But I think also as an entrepreneur, if you use that gut feel, which I know a lot of people do, sometimes you will feel, I don't think that's going to work. And we've basically going from 15 products that we could sell. We've made that decision. It's like, I don't think these products will sell, and I've designed them. It's like, I don't think that they are going to work, but I think that one product is going to work. So we put all of our money onto that one thing. And I remember saying to Joe, can you imagine if we just sacked everything off and just made a business of that one product? And that literally exactly what happened. So we got rid of all of that noise, went to one thing, started with one thing, and just nurtured that one product, and then slowly grew from there.
And actually, there's a few really good points there, I think. One is having that confidence that you do listen to your gut feel, rather than going, well, actually, it's better if we've got our eggs in more baskets, because that makes more sense. But listening to that gut feel, having the confidence to believe what you're thinking, and to trust the process, really. But also with the fear of failure, you kind of address that with what's positive, rather than thinking about the negative, spending a much more time in, okay, well, what's good, what could work.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good way of tackling it, because you're not consumed by the fear, you're looking for the opportunity.
Yeah, fear is a big thing, and I think, well, obviously we all have it. And there was fear, there was lots of sleepless nights, there's lots of stress, but yeah, I think that I just always I just always felt it, that no, we just have to keep going, we just have to get through it. And often it felt like a very, very long dark tunnel.
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
And then all of a sudden the light comes in, like you don't expect it, it just kind of happens. And you don't even know that it's improving sometimes. Sometimes things are just happening. You don't even know that they're happening, and all of a sudden you see, oh, actually, this is good, this is working. And those little triumphs keep you going.
No, that makes perfect sense. Is there anything else you would like to add or share with aspiring or growing entrepreneurs, thinking of them on their journey and the things that they're greeting and meeting? What keeps them going, or any advice around that?
I've always thought that the people I've met who have more experience, who have good reputation, they're better than me. They will know better than me what is best for my business. So I listen to them, and I've learned that just because someone is more experienced doesn't mean that they know better. And that comes back to that belief and trust in what you feel is best. So trust your gut and have faith in your own skills. That's what I would say. I would give that advice to the younger me.
I love that. Thank you so much for your time. It's been brilliant to chat to you.
Thank you. I hope I've answered your questions.
Yeah, no, you're brilliant. Thank you. It's all really good stuff, and it's just kind of weaving them into the chapters, but there's loads of really good insight there. And I think showing the reality behind small businesses is super important, because we see all the shiny stuff on Instagram. Actually, there's a lot of grit, determination, and everything that goes behind it. I mean, your brand's huge now. I keep seeing you pop up on lots of different people, and that's awesome. But as you say, it was years and years of hard graft to get to that point where everyone knows you now, and you're, doing really well and selling loads of products, and loads of people are loving the products. But there was a whole chunk that it is the one where people give up, or they feel like they're not going to get there, that we need to, I think, kind of encourage people in the right way to pursue their dreams like that.
Definitely keep walking through that dark tunnel, because you will see the light at some point.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I'll let you get back to your little one. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you've loved it. If you haven't got a copy of You've Got This yet, head over to your nearest bookshop, or go to good old Google and type in You've Got This Rhea Freeman, and you will find it. If you want to find out more about ACAI Outdoor, go to ACAI, spelled ACAI, outdoor.com, and you can find them at the same address on their social media channels. And to find out more about Kasia, go to Kasia Bromley on Instagram, and you can find out all about her, what she's up to, and her incredible business. Thanks so much.